Well, guys, last night I saw the full length movie of Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I gotta say, I liked it. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you guys my review on Zack Snyder's Justice League movie. And like I said, guys, in the intro, I liked it. It was great. It actually makes us just forget about that theatrical, even though there may have been some things there that were kind of good that I was making myself laugh and be like, yeah, that's not too bad. But this one makes it just all go away and like puts a band-aid on a big wound, as it were, because that's kind of what it felt like when you were watching that. I still would say that the theatrical was still okay. It left me satisfied in some places, but it did leave some bad wounds in me. But this movie has healed those up, and I feel much better about it. Now, will I go so far and say it was better than some of the Avengers MCU movies? No, I could probably say I'll put it on par with maybe Age of Ultron, or maybe a little over it, because I do admit I didn't really like Age of Ultron. And I will put it over on some other MCU movies that I put on the down low cards and all that. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the Justice League movie and what it is I liked about it and give you guys my thoughts on it. So, as I said, good movie. The pacing for this long movie was pretty good because it allowed us to get more character depth to pretty much all of these characters that we didn't really get in the theatrical cut, such as Cyborg. We really got to look more into Cyborg's history with who he was before he became Cyborg, how he became Cyborg, not just from when he became Cyborg, but how it all got to that point, how that mother box came into the possession of Starlabs to when he became Cyborg. But most of all, what it really helped for Cyborg's character was that it was showing us how he was learning about his abilities. Bear in mind, we didn't maybe necessarily need that because just like in the theatrical release, they could have done it like that, but the mere fact they give it more depth so they could show us the great heart Victor has despite the transformation, I really love that. And I also loved how it make us get more definition on his relationship with his father in this movie universe. Now, just like all relationships with those two, it's not the best in everything, but you can still see some differentiation in this iteration of it. That even though Cyborg and his dad aren't really on a good relationship because his dad's not really a good father and stuff, you can at least still see here that they're working through it and everything, and eventually comes to a head that really sets up Cyborg to become the hero he was meant to be. And I gotta say, I love that. But other characters who got some more depth into it, sure, we got Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. They all had some more character depth to them, especially with the whole Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and talking about the history with the Amazons and Atlanteans being at war. There wasn't a big brief. There wasn't a big scene of that. I mean, well, there kind of was, but it was kind of brief, is what I'm saying. But nevertheless, it was still good that they got to interact a little bit more and stuff. But the fact that they saw that with them there kind of makes me wish that the one where Josh Whedon's cut with the whole lasso of truth thing on Aquaman stayed in the movie just for a bit of chuckle, because I admit that was the funniest part in that theatrical cut. But going on over into other characters who had more depth into them, we gotta talk about Steppenwolf. Yes, guys, Steppenwolf, he was actually the main villain that the Justice League fought. Sure, Darkseid was looked to us in the trailers as the main villain, and he did show up, and he was actually the one who was in that story that Wonder Woman told Batman and stuff. But in the present time, he didn't really fight the Justice League, although he came very close to it, and we saw visions that were showing us of the future, and that has made me be like scared and knowing Darkseid is really gonna mess them up. That's if this a sequel ever had come to be, because that's one thing about this Justice League movie. It set it up as sequels for whatever, if they ever make it, because right now it's up in the air on that end. But nevertheless, we got to see more in depth on Steppenwolf and his history with Darkseid. His relationship with him is kind of on a stale sort of thing, and the reason Steppenwolf's doing this to try to get back on Darkseid's good side, that we get to see more more of his character, to not only what he wants to do to redeem himself with Darkseid, but how he's trying so hard to not only redeem him, but also in showing his cruelty as he's attacking each places to get those mother boxes. And what's more, they actually give us the thing we always know Darkseid wants, the anti-life equation, which is on Earth. I gotta say, guys, that was crazy stuff right there. But nevertheless, here, now that I haven't gone into that and saying the more depths on these characters, I want to also talk on the fact that what makes this movie great is that each character each had their moments to shine. I only wanted to really talk in the details of Cyborg and Steppenwolf because they really had their more character depths than many of the others. But if I'm to say who had the most shining moment, was the Flash, because during all his time we had him doing his things, you can kind of say he was the key point in the final battle and in the other big things they did in order to get to the final battle when it comes to the Justice League. And as I also said before, guys, we had Darkseid here, and his presence alone, even though he didn't fight the Justice League, you could feel his presence and feel that he is a true terror, someone you do not want to mess with, which is exactly what brings the presence of Darkseid to the universe. He always has to bring that, no matter what iteration. So I will say that they delivered great on that end, along with showing us a little bit of his homeworld, Apocalypse. Not in full scene of the planet itself, but a little bit of scene of his throne and his room and everything. We even see Granny Goodness and Darkseid, so that was a good thing to see right there too. But what else did I love about this? For one, the surprise cameo, one I did not expect coming, was Martian Manhunter with what he did. For a brief role in the middle of the movie, to where he comes at the end credit scene to talk with Bruce Wayne and telling him that even though they stopped Darkseid from coming, he is still going to be coming anyway. Because yes, the way they stopped him, as I said, was through Flash, who was the MVP when it comes to characters having the most moment to shine, probably second next to Cyborg and Steppenwolf, at least within character depth, but in action hero, the Flash all the way. But now, as I've talked about all that, what were the negative sides to this? Well, there wasn't really much that I didn't have much of a problem with. Now, to say that it's a long movie, yes, it is a long movie, a 4-hour movie, and can you really expect many people to sit 4 hours and watch it? No, it's kind of a bit of a challenge that they have to break it up into 2 parts. So you could say that the fact that it was a 4-hour long movie is what could kind of lag it and make people not like it as much, knowing that there are some scenes in there that could have been shortened out more, that it didn't need to be as long as it is. Now, for me personally, though, I was able to look past that, because even though I agree that, yeah, that long movie would kind of lag things, which I did feel, it didn't bother me as much. But even still, I will say that's a bit of a con right there. For me, more like it's both a pro and a con to what makes this Justice League movie good, and have that con side to it. The other thing I didn't really like was during any time they showed with the Flash, it was almost like they were showing too much of the slow motion. I mean, I understand he's fast and everything, and all that, but we didn't always need to see him always being in so much slow motion every time he's running fast and stuff, because it eventually got so tiring that I'm like, okay, guys, we get it, but can we just see him as the Flash running fast, which we did, but not as much as all that slow motion and stuff. So I'm afraid I can't really say I was fond of that end. And also that I can't say I'm fond of the way he be running. I mean, I get that they all have their different ways of running when it comes to anyone who plays the Flash characters, but this one just felt so iffy to me. So I'm sorry on that end, guys, but that's about it, really. I mean, other than the fact that, like I said, with the whole long of the movie, that could kind of cause it be both a pro and the con, some of that slow motion stuff, and And you know what? In some ways, I guess how they set up for a sequel kind of scratches your head on it too, because with the way they set it up, it's making us now want to think, are there going to be more movies? And if they do, how will they tie into Zack Snyder's universe, considering they've already got DCEU movies out there with Shazam, Aquaman, and there's still the Flash coming and everything. So it makes you kind of wonder about that. But nevertheless, though, guys, I still love this movie. I really did. Some of the different character moments we got here for like Bruce and Diana, they still had their good partnership and friendship right there. We also even get to see Alfred have some good fun in this. He even actually has a scene with Wonder Woman, and I actually find their bonding moment right there to be very funny and stuff. And yeah, the same would go for how he kind of had a little brief talking with each and every other member of the Justice League, from Superman to Aquaman, Flash, Cyborg. I loved it. I really did. And then, of course, yes, Lois Lane, yeah, she didn't really have too much to do in here. It was just kind of the same in the theatrical, but they did let us see more of her time as she was grieving and the people helping her. And I'm glad they did show us that. It could at least show us how she was able to get back in. And let me just say, Martian Manhunter play a little role in that. Yeah, so as you guys have been seeing, I've been given some spoilers, but not many spoilers. But I don't think it really matters at this point whether it's non-spoiler or not, because many people have probably already seen it and stuff, and they're probably all given the details like this myself. But nevertheless, guys, a good movie. I give it an 8 out of 10 as a movie critic, and as a DC fan, I'll still give it an 8 out of 10. I can't really give it a higher score than that. Or, maybe I could give it an 8.5 out of 10, but that's just maybe just to be generous on that end. But still, like I said, good movie. Less heals the wounds from the theatrical cut and leaves you even more satisfied than what you probably were satisfied in some of what you saw with the theatrical cut. But nevertheless, guys, that's all for today. And I hope if you guys have seen it, what did you think of it? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. I love to hear what your thoughts were. What was the pros? What was the cons for you? Because it really helps in letting this channel evolve to see different points of view and everything. But now that having said all that, I'm going to go ahead and leave. And hey, if you're enjoying my videos, all you got to do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, MegaGeekMixer signing out. Bye.